Good morning again. Hey, Huskers didn't lose a game. They didn't play a game either. But it's good, right? They didn't lose. Anyway, so much for Huskers. The Lion of Judah is what we're going to be talking about today. And you know, there's this thing where I'm at home working on my computer and I can access the computer here or the files, share the files. And so I came this morning and guess what? The sermon wasn't there. For some reason, I think the server was down or something. And anyways, I had to redo the whole slides off the top of my head. So I got it. I got basically the verses put up back on the program. So we got it. Revelation 5. I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne of the book, a book written inside and on the back, sealed up with 7 seals, and I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the book and to break its seals?" And no one in heaven or on the earth or under the earth was able to open the book or to look into it. Then I began to weep greatly because no one was found worthy to open the book or to look at it. And one of the elders said to me, "Stop weeping. Behold, the Lion that is from the tribe of Judah, the root of Jesse, has overcome so as to open the book and its 7 seals." You know what? When I think about a lion, in fact, what I did is I looked at some videos of lion attacks. Anybody see some videos online of lions attacking? And a lot of them was, I wanted to have a clip of a lion attacking something. But some of it was not, it was so graphic that I don't think I wanted to show it to you. But a lion is very powerful. In fact, the lion is named the king of the jungle, right? What a magnificent creature that God created. The lion, actually, I can't remember how many miles it was, but they have several miles territory where they'll go around the perimeter of the territory and have a loud roar. And that was to keep and to show everyone, this is my territory, you stay away from my territory. And so we looked at all the different things that God has done and created. And in the scriptures it talks about how God attributes Jesus as being the Lion of Judah. In Hosea it says, "For I will be like a lion to Ephraim and a young lion to the house of Judah. I even will tear 2 pieces and go away. I will carry away, and there will be none to deliver." You know, again, here's another symbol of a powerful being, a powerful God that really is a God that protects each and every one of us. Now, the reason why a lion would attack a lot of times is, some of the videos I've seen was tourists going into a place where they could see the lions. In fact, they'll drive right up to where the lions are, and the lions would come and try to get inside that vehicle by pawing it. And one of them, they broke the mirror of the vehicle just by pushing on it a little bit. And there's a little fear in the hearts of people when they see a lion. How many of you been to a lion up close? Anybody? Maybe to the zoo? Anybody ever pet a lion? Huh? Now, I know there's some people that have lions as pet, but some of the videos that I looked at showed that the trainer got attacked from the lion. And you know, I even saw some pictures of a guy putting his head in the lion's mouth. And when you think about the different stories in the Bible, like Daniel in the lion's den, can you imagine being Daniel and getting thrown in the lion's den? Now, these lions were hungry lions. There was a purpose that they didn't feed the lions when they wanted someone executed. But what happened? God, who has control over everything, shut the mouths of the lions, right? Some people, critics might say, well, the lions weren't hungry, so that's why they didn't eat Daniel. But you remember that the ones that were accusing Daniel of doing wrong, when the king threw those guys into the lion's den, what happened? They were hungry, all right? And they annihilated those guys. But when we think of the power of a lion, the king of the jungle, we think of Jesus Christ, who is the King of kings and Lord of lords. There's none that is greater than he. And that it's so great to have confidence in a king who desires to protect us. Just like the lion will protect his pride, God wants to protect each and every one of us. Now I want to go back to a story that we all remember in the Old Testament. And that's when, if you can remember, Joseph was a son of Jacob. And he was sort of like a favorite. Now, how many of you were favorites growing up? Huh? Your parents favored you. Well, you know, it doesn't seem very fair that a parent would, especially God, you know, how would God do that, right? But Jacob, he favored Joseph. And that's probably because, you remember the story where, you know, he met Rachel and he wanted to marry Rachel, and so he worked how many years? 7 years to get Rachel. And then on the wedding night, what happened?
He got Leah. It was Leah.
He found out that the person that he was sleeping with wasn't his wife, who he thought it was. He got Leah. And you know, he says, well, you know, our tradition is, or our custom is to have the first daughter get married first. So that's why. And so Laban says, you know, if you want Rachel, you can work for me for 7 more years. And Joseph was smart enough. He says, I'll work for you for 7 more years, but you got to give me Rachel first. So because this is the one that he really wanted to marry, he loved Rachel, right? And Joseph was one of Rachel's sons. And then there was another one later on, Benjamin, right? And so here's Joseph and the other brothers, right? Now, if you understand and read about all these 12 tribes, or the 12 brothers, there was how many different wives involved? Right? 4? Because there was Leah, there's Rachel, but then there's also the handmaids of each. And so we got 12 kids in one family. Can you imagine? How many of you had siblings of 12 altogether? No? I can't imagine. I had 6, that's half of it. And that was all boys. But here we understand that Jacob loved his son Joseph, and he spoiled him. He spoiled him with what they call the coat of many colors. You know the story, right? And so all the other brothers are jealous of him. In fact, they were so jealous that, remember, they wanted to kill Joseph. They wanted to throw him in a pit have the animals devour them. And Reuben said, you know, let's make money off of him. And so what did? They sold Joseph away to a faraway land. And I want to get to the part where Joseph's already in Egypt, and it says, now the famine was severe in the land, so it came about when they had finished eating the grain which they had brought from Egypt, that their father said to them, go back, buy us a little food. And Judah spoke to him, however, saying, the man solemnly warned us, you shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. If you send our brother with us, we will go down and buy you food. Now, who's that brother? That's Benjamin. See, Joseph, who asked them what, he was the ruler in Egypt, right? Second in command. And he knew what he was wanting, right? He was asking about his father. How's your father? How's your father doing? And I want you to bring, because Joseph's, probably he had a favorite too, his brother Benjamin, because it had the same mom. But if you do not send him, we will not go down. For the man said to us, you will not see my face unless your brother is with you. Then Israel said, why did you treat me so badly by telling the man whether you still have another brother? But they said, the man questioned particularly about our relatives, saying, is your father still alive? Have you another brother? So we answered his question. Could we possibly know that he would say, bring your brother down? And Judah said to his father Israel, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die. We as well as you and our little ones. I myself will be surety for him, so that you may hold me responsible for him. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before you, then let me bear the burden before you forever. Now earlier, Reuben volunteered that, well, I'll guarantee you that, things will happen, and you can have my kids, my 2 kids, if anything happens to Benjamin. But Judah himself offers himself as a sacrifice. He says, I'm holding total responsibility to make sure that Benjamin comes back. For if we had not delayed, surely by now we could have returned twice. And then the father Israel said to him, if it must be so, then do this. Take some of the best products of the land in your bags and carry down to the man as a present. A little balm and a little honey, are only gum and myrrh, pistachio nuts, and almonds. He wanted to take the best that they had to offer a gift to please who he didn't know who he was, the one in charge over in Egypt. Take double the money in your hand and take back in your hand the money that was returned in the mouth of your sacks. Perhaps it was a mistake. Take your brother also and arise, return to the man, and may God Almighty grant you compassion in the sight of the man, so that he will release to you your other brother and Benjamin. And as for me, I am bereaved, my children, I am bereaved. So the men took this present and took double the money in their hand and Benjamin. Then they arose and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. So here we go, is we have this situation where they don't realize who this guy was that's asking to bring out Benjamin. And they figure the only way we'll get some food is if we do what he asked us to do. And then later down, we understand that Jacob, when he's dying, he gives a blessing to his 12 sons. And this is in Genesis 49. It says, "Then Jacob summoned his sons and said, 'Assemble yourselves that I may tell you what will befall you in the days to come. Gather together and hear, O sons of Jacob, and listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, preeminent in dignity and preeminent in power. Uncontrolled as water, you shall have preeminence. Because you went up to your father's bed and you defiled it, he went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brothers, their swords are implements of violence. Let my soul not enter into their counsel. Let not my glory be united with their assembly. Because in their anger they slew men, and in their self-will they laid oxen. Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will disperse them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Judah, your brothers shall praise you, your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons shall bow down to you. Judah is like a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, ye have gone up. He crouches, he lies down as a lion, and as a lion, who dares rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet until Shiloh comes. And to him shall be the obedience of the peoples. You see, the thing is, of all the brothers, Judah stands out. Was Judah perfect? No, he had his flaws, right? But he had a turnaround. He had a change of heart. And because of his change of heart, the Messiah was to come through Judah's offspring. In Hebrews it says, "For it is evident that our Lord was descended from Judah, a tribe with reference, which Moses spoke nothing concerning priests, and this is clear still that if another priest arises according to the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become such not on the basis of the law of physical requirement, but according to the power of an indestructible life. For it is attested of him, you are the priests forever, according to Melchizedek." You know, when I read the scriptures of how awesome God is. We talked about God being the Alpha and the Omega, right? Jesus himself says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega," the timeless. Can you imagine being in an atmosphere or a time, a dimension where there's no time? I mean, it's hard for us as finite people to comprehend that, right? But you know what? Everything that goes on today is according to God's plan. God, before even created the world, set a plan to show himself. And it all pointed to the coming of Jesus, right? From the very beginning, from Genesis, Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming. Satan is looking. He's not omniscient. He doesn't know everything, so he's got to try and figure it out. So, you know, he thought maybe Cain was going to be the Messiah, so he had killed Cain, and down the road he just had to try and figure out who it was. And finally Jesus came. And he says, "I got him.